Good evening and a warm welcome. I'm Atal and you're watching Viewpoint. A 5-day special session of the Parliament started today with the Prime Minister's address in the Lok Sabha. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his last speech at the old building of the Parliament, paid tributes to every brick of the old while hailing the events and people that shaped history through it all. Prime Minister Modi hailed the vision of the first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and subsequent leaders including Lal Bahadur Shastri, PV Narasimha Rao and Atal Bihari Vajpayee, but also reminded the Lok Sabha of the cash for vote scam during the Manmohan Singh government. He also lauded the success of Chandrayaan 3 and the G20 summit, calling the latter the success of 140 crore people of the country. The Rajya Sabha, though, witnessed a war of words between the leader of the House, Piyush Goyal, and the leader of opposition, Mallikarjun Kharge, after the latter took a swipe at the logo of G20 under India's presidency. Now, during his speech, the Prime Minister also referred to the growing representation and contribution of women MPs in the House proceedings. Remember, this comes amid opposition's demand for a bill on women's reservation to be introduced in the special session, which they had in fact raised in the all-party meeting convened on September 17th. The government, however, had not responded to the demands at that time. Now remember, the announcement of the special session came in as a surprise in political circles, with the parties gearing up for the assembly polls in 5 states later this year. Opposition parties have been criticizing the BJP-led central government for calling for a special session of the parliament without disclosing the agenda. Some are even calling the special session a Griha Pravesh rather into the new building, as has been suggested by astrologers, which also is another moot point. Why should one religion take precedence when it is about coming into a new space marked now as the seat of democracy? Let's open this up.
ये सदन से विदाई लेना एक बहुत ही भावुक पल है। परिवार भी अगर पुराना घर छोड़ करके नए घर जाता है तो बहुत सारी यादें कुछ पल के लिए उसको झकझोर देती है। इसी सदन में पंडित नेहरू का एट द स्ट्रोक ऑफ मिडनाइट की गूंज हम सबको प्रेरित करती है। और इसी सदन में अटल जी ने कहा था, शब्द आज भी गूंज रहे हैं इस सदन में, सरकारें आएगी जाएगी, पार्टियां बनेगी बिगड़ेगी, लेकिन ये देश रहना चाहिए।
If the parliament is for strengthening the democracy, building will never give results. The discussion inside the building is the matter for all of us.
But it's now become clear that the government wanted to make a special moment out of shifting from one building to another, and they have tried to do it in a special way. We can understand the objective there.
देश के लोग चाहते थे कि 75 साल बीत जाने के बाद शिक्षा पे कितनी तरक्की हो पाई, चिकित्सा संस्थानें कितनी बन पाई, क्या हर घर को पीने के लिए स्वच्छ पानी मिल पाया, इस विषय पे कोई चर्चा, कोई शब्द प्रधानमंत्री जी ने नहीं कहा।
Now, before I open this up to my guests who are joining me today, this evening on Viewpoint, let me actually break down for our viewers what have been the past special Parliament sessions all about. Why have they really been convened? One by one, let's break them down. 1962, the year was 1962, November 8th is when the first special session of the Parliament was convened. This was convened during war with China, and it was done at the behest of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So that was the first special Parliament session. Later, in 1997, August 27, this was done to commemorate the Golden Jubilee of Indian independence after 1947, 50 years. That's when it was convened. May 13th, 2012, of course, this was to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the first sitting of the Parliament. Then we go on to 26 November 2015. This was done to commemorate the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the constitutional famer, and that was an important aspect. That was actually the reason why that special session was convened. June 30th, 2017, this was, as we all know, a midnight session to commemorate the rollout of the historic GST regime. So these are the instances when the special session of the parliament has been convened, and we are now seeing it again happening this time around. Tomorrow is when the entire shift is going to be taking place to the new parliament block, where the session is going to continue till the 22nd of this month. Let me take this across to my guests who join us on the broadcast. Neeti Jain of the Bharatiya Janata Party is with us. Also with us is Arshpreet Kadyal of the Congress Party. Krishank Mane of the BRS is with us. Also with us is senior journalist Mr. Javed Ansari. Now, Arshpreet, since I see you on the top of my screen, I'd ask the first question to you. What is the furor all about this special session? Why is the Congress and the opposition party really questioning the special session that's been asked of by the government to be convened?
Thank you very much for the question. Kindly allow me a minute and a half uninterrupted. Whether it be the new parliament building or it be the old parliament building, we doubt that the Bharatiya Janata Party would mend its ways and would stop turning our democracy into autocracy. We expected that the Bharatiya Janata Party in the first place, at least now at this juncture, would consult with the other political parties, the opposition, before having an agenda in the first place. Did not. Number two, we expect that unlike before there would be debate and discussion over bills, we expect that the Bharatiya Janata Party would not mute our mic, would give us adequate representation, would not suspend us for asking relevant and serious questions, exposing them, making them accountable. And we expect that the Bharatiya Janata Party would make sure that the people-centric issues are taken up and they don't take a backseat like they always have. Number two, they say that the agenda does not have to be told in advance. Now, they have contradicted themselves by saying this, because in Punjab, the Punjab government wanted to have a special session on June 19th and June 20th. So the governor of Punjab, he asked the government what the agenda is going to be. And as a proof, I want to show this also on the screen. It's a Times of India report. Everybody can see it. So therefore, the governor asked, and the government had to convey the agenda. But why does the central government of the Bharatiya Janata Party not want to convey the agenda to the opposition? Now, how do they expect for us to prepare, for us to consult with the stakeholders, for us to consult our constituents, and then put forth their representation, their point of view, their perspective, their perception? So, the fact of the matter is that a lot of money is spent on these working days of parliament. Crores are spent, so we should make the most out of it. And the Bharatiya Janata Party clearly does not want that, because they are not accustomed to consulting and deliberating.
But allow me to come in here, Arshpreet. Aren't you preempting what is going to happen in the special session? Because I still do not understand. What is the key point of argument? Why are you crying foul over the convening of this special session? Agenda is one. There is no agenda which has been clearly actually mentioned by the Bharatiya Janata Party. That is what the claim has been so far. Is there any other particular reason why you feel this special session is just a hogwash? It should not have been convened? What can be discussed in the winter session? Why is it being done? What is the exact problem?
Yes. So one, you've already said, you've mentioned my point, that the agenda has not been told, due to which we cannot prepare, therefore we cannot contribute, and the people who have voted for us, their right is also done away with. Now, number two, people-centric issues should have been taken up. Now, the Bharatiya Janata Party should, if their spokesperson is here, a part of this debate, should tell us, are they in favor of discussing caste census, yes or no? Are they in favor of having a women reservation bill deliberated upon, yes or no? Are they in favor of discussing Manipur? And I hope, unlike before, we would not have to bring in a no confidence motion to compel the government to talk of a BJP ruled state. And number four, are they willing to discuss the rift there is between states and center?
Okay.
Are they willing to ensure that the people centric issues are given a priority, and issues of their interest issues that are concerned with the Bharatiya Janata Party take a backseat at this point of time because,
Okay.
you know,
I'd let
2024
Neeti Jain respond to it. Neeti, would you like to respond to all of these questions that have been posted by the Congress Party?
Griha, I think first of all, I'm genuinely happy that at least one person from the Congress realizes that a lot of money and time and effort and resources goes into one session of the Parliament, which they very happily wash out for the last few sessions that we have seen. So I hope going forward, they are going to keep this in mind that a lot of money and resources has gone into this and let the session work. One. The second point is the amount of whataboutery that the Congress Party and the opposition collectively have been going into for this entire one, the Central Vista project, and two, for anything that this government does. All they have are oppositions and issues that do not exist to raise for no reason at all. When the Prime Minister speaks on the issues that you asked him to speak on, you walk out of the entire Parliament and you don't even want to listen when the response is being given to you. And outside of it, you will keep raising the same questions again and again that have already been answered. So I honestly don't understand what your problem is. And honestly, the entire country is looking forward to what we are doing. It is a happy day today. We are moving into a new parliament tomorrow, and that needs to be celebrated. To come in and raise issues about that as well genuinely doesn't make sense at all. We have celebrated an entire democracy of this country, the prime ministers that have existed, and going forward, the hope and confidence that we go on with. So to come up and be a spoilsport in everything that the government does, I think that's a reflection on you and not on us at all.
Okay, I would still go ahead and ask you, and on behalf of the opposition, why the special session? Why the convening of the special session now? After all, it's not May 13th. So what was the need to not stop until the winter session commences? What was the need to go ahead and do it right now?
Reha, I think that is a question that the government has. The cabinet meeting is going to happen at 6:30, and let's just wait and watch what the agenda or the reason that the special session has been called on. As much as I would like to speculate and believe the sources that have been going on one agenda after another for the past few weeks. Let's just wait and see why the government has called it. It's not a frivolous move by the government. Let's just believe in the government and just wait for another half an hour probably.
And I can see Arshpreet's hand, but Arshpreet, I will allow you the rebuttal, but let me actually bring in Krishank and Ms. Javed Ansari, who are also patiently waiting. Krishank, the BRS has been firm on the stand of bringing in the women's reservation bill. I know, I understand you're sparring with the Congress party as far as your state is concerned, but when it is about standing united as an opposition, do you also join in the questions that the Congress party is raising against the convening of this special session?
Well, Grihaji, one thing is for sure, not just the Congress party, the whole nation and the media is also just speculating about what the suspense or the session is all about. And in fact, the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson has made it clear that even the BJP spokespersons do not know what is the session about. So they are also in the way
that the government doesn't consult with us on the issues of the government
of India or the cabinet. Only after the cabinet, probably the BJP spokespersons would get a line. So if anything, what we speak will be only speculation and hypothetical. But one thing for sure is, country cannot run in such suspense. Parliament cannot run in such suspense. But as BRS, we have written, our Chief Minister KCRG has written to Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji regarding two things. One, to initiate the Women's Reservation Bill for 33%. And one more thing is also about the OBC reservation, because till date, neither the caste census, neither the population census, which has to be taken up by the government of India, has not been done yet. While these two issues are very strongly being followed up by the BRS, one important thing which we have to condemn, our working president, Mr. KTR, also has initiated a statement on this, on Prime Minister Modi ji, using Parliament for political statements, that too during poll times, is really unfortunate, because time and again he's spoken against the creation and the procedure of the Telangana state. If really the government of India has issues with the Telangana state creation, we would feel that if BJP was in power, Telangana wouldn't have happened. And one more thing, Government of India had every chance since 9.5 years to take up the governance of Telangana also because they are in the center. But nothing has been done. Instead, talking false that regarding the growth of Telangana is really absurd. Telangana is doing good, and on the platform of Parliament, Honorable Prime Minister, who is in such a position, should not speak lies against the formation of the state and against the direction which the state is going, which is exemplary model for many schemes of the Government of India also, be it water or be it regarding the schemes for agriculture, which
Krishan, I appreciate the point that you're making. I'm afraid it'll go somewhere else, but you were talking about what the Prime Minister says on the floor of the House. But if we actually talk about his current speech, the last one from the old Lok Sabha, from the old Parliament building today in the Lok Sabha, you know, he has pretty much spoken in a very statesmanly manner. Is the opposition really taken aback because of the speech that has come in by way of the Prime Minister? Because he's usually combative, but was the opposition not ready for this kind of a statement? Because he has lauded everybody from Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru to Prime Minister Vajpayee, then everyone who has been instrumental in constructing this very, very important democracy like India. Do you think the opposition kind of has been taken aback? There is no rebuttal that the opposition really has?
Not at all, Grihaji. Not at all, Grihaji, because the consistency of Modi ji fails. Because you never know, tomorrow again he'll take up Nehru ji for his election campaign, also for his poll campaigns. So this is not new. He has time and again shifted his goalpost. The whole point today is, India will definitely celebrate the opening of new parliament building tomorrow morning. But what about the other 3 days? What about 28th, 21st, 22nd? What is Indian Parliament going to discuss about? We will definitely celebrate the Parliament building, but what policies or what discussion is going to taken up, that has not been mentioned in Prime Minister's speech today. Because if you are talking about the last speech in the old Parliament and if you are entering into a new Parliament, show us a new direction. Which way is this Government of India going forward? We do not know the direction.
Right. Let me ask this to
Mr.
Javed Ansari. Mr. Ansari, do you agree? Do you think that the Prime Minister's speech amalgamated all the points that were required of him to touch upon before heading to the new seat of democracy tomorrow and also convening the special session that has been called by the ruling government? Or do you think he made apt points that were required to be made?
I would go with the latter. He made apt points. And just naming names, just naming former prime ministers is not enough. What former prime ministers have done is a part of history, and people will judge them as they wish to. So therefore, all former prime ministers, I don't mean just one, none of the former prime ministers need a certificate from anyone. What they've done is before them. Two, it's just not enough to name names. No? How much of it are you imbibing? Are you imbibing the democratic flavor? This occasion, a special session by which very virtue, there has to be something special. It can't be something routine. So therefore, moving from one building to the other just cannot be an event. Will this strengthen? I hope that I'm around to see the day when Indian democracy will be strengthened and where the level of debate will be elevated from the nadir to where it has descended at the moment to where it used to be, if not better than that.
So the worry that the opposition really has, and what Krishank also just mentioned, that we understand that tomorrow, day one into the new building, it's all about accepting the new and probably reveling in the newness. But what about the rest of the 3 days? Because there is no agenda that's still being discussed. It is going to be just watered down by what we'd seen in the monsoon session. Do you agree to that point, Mr. Ansari?
Yes, Greha. The point I was making was the there has to be something substantive. I hope that there will be something substantive, something that will mean that the average person on the street, that will make the life of the average person on the street a lot better. And I hope all parliamentarians, not just those in government, of course, the lead has to come from the government, but all our parliamentarians will henceforth put their best foot forward. Because at the moment, the esteem that the people hold our parliamentarians in is extremely poor. I have absolutely no hesitation in saying that it keeps descending. It's only going down. It's not improving. And now just moving into a new building, it's not just it must go beyond an event. I'd be looking for something substantive from my government, from my Prime Minister. At the moment, even the RSS magazine, the mouthpiece, the organizer, its cover says, guess what? Even they are guessing. And they say that the only thing predictable about this government is its unpredictability.
Okay.
Therefore,
all right, Nidhi, you wanted to respond.
To go beyond this.
Yeah, absolutely. You wanted to respond. I would also like to give this one piece of information for our viewers that both the houses of the parliament have been adjourned for the day. In all likelihood, there is going to be a cabinet meeting that is scheduled for 6:30. So in about 15 minutes, we are waiting for that agenda that Nidhi was talking about that possibly comes out of that meeting, or what exactly will this special session be all about. But Nidhi, the points that have been made by the three speakers, do you agree with those points, considering there is a fair amount of criticism with the special session? The most important one was, why not wait till the winter session? The other one was that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is using it for his personal goals, whether it is to keep in with the celebratory fervor around the G20 success or Chandrayaan, which he mentioned in his speech, or even his birthday. How do you respond to that?
So first of all, I don't understand what problem they have with the G20 and Chandrayaan. I think as a country, that is something we need to celebrate. And if the leader of this country is celebrating it, I don't think the country has a problem with it. The opposition may. The second point being, both the BRS spokesperson and Javed Ansari ji being as senior as he is, I think you should be happy that the RSS doesn't know and the BJP doesn't know what the government is doing. There is a certain decorum in the parliament and the government. They do not discuss it outside before doing what needs to be done. That is the prerogative of the government, and that is being done. And the third point being, they have made democracy and secularism kind of the buzzwords, but they refuse to follow them per se. So the democracy, as thriving as it is in India, they have a problem with that. They want freedom of speech, but they will go ahead and boycott a certain number of journalists, but they want freedom of speech from others. They just don't want others to have it. They want secularism, but they will come out collectively and make statements about Sanatan Dharma, but they want secularism in entirety, but I don't think they understand what secularism is. So I think it is the opposition today that is trying to harm
but if the BJP does,
that this country
if the BJP does understand secularism, there is another moot point that I also mentioned in my in my introductory speech, where I was opening the show up, where there is so much that's been said about the puja that happens tomorrow. Why only a puja? Why just give one religion a precedence when we are talking about a seat of democracy after all?
Because tomorrow happens to be the Ganesh Chaturthi. It is the Vignaharta. It is a remover of obstacles, and it happens to be an auspicious day.
That's my point exactly, Nidhi. Don't you think this will be another Sengol moment for the Bharatiya Janata Party and accusations being flown from the other side?
The problem, Griha, is, and I get your question, the problem here is that every religion is celebrated, but the point is, why is it that the opposition has problem every time something Hindu or anything related to the Sanatan Dharma happens? Bengal was a part of history, and the kind of hue and cry that the entire opposition made, why is it that secularism for them is anti-Hindu? Okay. We say every religion is equal. We are treating every religion to be
when the Bharatiya Janata Party goes ahead and makes this point that opposition is anti-Hindu, but when you see celebrations like this which are only catering to a certain religion, despite the fact that we're talking about a seat of democracy here, we're talking about hailing the secular fabric of the country. And of course, there is going to be sparring in that regard in the later days that are coming up. Tomorrow, it's going to be all about the pomp and show, the puja, and getting into the new building. But do you think the other 3 days of the session could possibly be a washout, and what the BJP or even the opposition together plan on achieving, at least discussion on a few bills, the women's reservation being in particular, that's not going to really happen?
Is that question to me?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Ansari.
Well, so I do hope that it goes beyond just an event. I hope it goes beyond the religious rituals that will be performed. I hope that some substantive business, all parliamentarians, starting from the Prime Minister downwards, will put their best foot forward, and something substantive will emerge other than just an event.
Okay.
Because right now, and as I didn't say, the essence of democracy, parliamentary democracy, is transparency. It's not a one-man show or a one-party show. All political parties make up parliament, and they all ought to have been taken. Why this secrecy about the agenda?
Okay.
What is so great? What is it that you're trying to hide? What is the surprise you want to spring on the nation? Take everybody along. After all, whatever measure you take has to pass muster in parliament. Everybody will have to debate and give the seal of approval or disapproval.
How is this a secret,
Why hide it
Ansari? That the agenda has been shared and the rest of it is going to be shared once the cabinet meeting is done.
That's what you said, Nidhi, but we'd have to still wait for the agenda to come out.
Vihaji,
But
I'd like to add.
Yeah, Krishan, please go ahead. Make your point.
Grihaji, our fear is, now they've used the word, BJP has used the word democracy. Well, India's democracy is about debate. The point here is, every time Modi ji has initiated one thing.
Who do the debate.
Let him make his point first. First, let him make his point. You can't be only hung up on one point. Yeah.
Vihaji, suspense has always screwed the nation. Be it demonetization, be it Agniveer, be it farm laws, or be it the lockdown. These were not discussed with any state governments. These were not discussed in the parliament. One man, Modi ji, always claimed that I've brought these decisions, and all of this boomerang. Right from demonetization to farm laws, Modi ji had to apologize, had to roll back. Modi ji had to take out the 2000 note which they brought in, they had to take back. So once again, what we believe that your suspense is screwing the nation, like there have not been reforms, there have been monumental blunders and
Nidhi, that's the key argument. Ashmit, I'll come to you quickly. Nidhi, that's the key argument. Is the BJP really playing some sort of a permutation combination, not really knowing what is it that they want to get discussed as far as the special session is concerned? But one point is still there, that they need to pass one key bill to make this session historic as they are proclaiming it to be.
So, what you are suggesting is that the government doesn't know what they want and they've called a special session and now they're going to decide what is going to happen. I'm very certain that is not the case. The government has it in its agenda. A partial agenda has been shared. After the cabinet meeting, the agenda is going to be shared. But to create this entire drama around what is the secrecy about, the agenda will be shared. Nothing is going to happen in solos. Or a solitary movement is not going to happen. It is going to come to the public. It is going to go to the parliament. The problem here is that the opposition, as for the past few sessions, they have been working out on everything that the government is trying to do. So I think the prerogative is more on the opposition to let the sessions work, to let the parliament
Is that why the secrecy is? So that there is no walkout?
I am not saying there is a secrecy. I am saying a partial agenda has been shared.
Because my question to you is, Nidhi, that is that one accusation against the Bharatiya Janata Party. They are not coming clean on that one thing. There's been a little letter that's been written by Sonia Gandhi to the Prime Minister himself, the response of which came by way of the other cabinet ministers responding to the response to the letter. Why not the Prime Minister just reply to what Sonia Gandhi asked for? It's just a normal procedure.
The cabinet exists for a reason. The cabinet exists for a reason. There is a parliamentary affairs minister who is going to respond to those matters. But to bring up again ki har cheez Modi ji hi karenge, I don't understand what is this obsession with everything has to be done by the PM. They ask for the PM to speak on certain topics and then they walk out. So I think the opposition is being a little haywire on the way they are taking things forward. They're not clear on what they want. They're not clear on the agenda. And that goes again for their entire alliance as well. So they are just making a point of everything and anything that they can without knowing where they want to be or where they want to take
Krishan, please respond. Is the agitation really misplaced? Is the agitation really misplaced, Arshpreet? And what we'd seen in the Lok Sabha, not so much, but we did see some sort of a controversy erupting out of the Rajya Sabha where the Congress president really referred to G20 as the G2. And of course, there was an exchange of bars between Piyush Goyal and Mr. Kharge.
Thank you for the question. The question has been posed to me.
Krishan, I'll come to you. This for Arshpreet.
Thank you. See, let me make one thing crystal clear. So the Bharatiya Janata Party is accustomed to undermining the parliament. Kindly allow me just 1 minute uninterrupted. I'll answer questions. Number one, Mr. Modi's presence in the parliament allegedly in 2021 is of 4 hours. 4 hours. Can you believe that? Number two, 17th Lok Sabha happens to be the shortest Lok Sabha of all time since 1952. Number three, the total number of bills passed are allegedly the fewest ever since our parliament has started to be, functional, and the fewer bills are being sent to the standing committee as well. And the fellow spokesperson of the BJP said that they expect Mr. Modi to do everything, answer everything. When Mr. Modi could not speak over Manipur issue for 77 days, when he could not do one press conference in 9 long years, despite being the Prime Minister of the country, we definitely did not expect him to answer the question of Ms. Sonia Gandhi either.
So you walked out.
So I'm sorry, we walked
No,
out.
he's making
because-
another point. Neeti, one second. Let him complete. Yeah, Ashpreet.
Thank you. As far as the walking out is concerned, if you will suspend our MPs for no remo reason, if you will mute our mics, if we ask you questions, then of course we'll have to do something.
Sir,
It's our right.
all the statistics that you've named is because
second,
you
please.
made that session to be a washout. You kept shouting in that session, not letting the parliament work. And that is why the parliament has not been able to work.
Yeah,
And that
okay,
is
complete your point.
why
Ashpreet, complete your point.
Thank
Neeti
you.
got your point.
Thank you.
Ashpreet, complete.
But you see, I mean, this is a blunder in itself. Just look at it. They say that it's the temple of democracy. All the MPs are coming to represent their constituents, but even the spokesperson of the BJP does not know what the agenda is. One day has already passed. Scraws.
No, you already made that point, but this accusation by the Bharatiya Janata Party, this accusation by the Bharatiya Janata Party that the walkouts that the monsoon session had seen was primarily because the opposition was stuck. They did not want the business in the house to happen really. And then when you accuse the BJP to being autocratic or going ahead and passing bills without any discussion, how does that even stand? Because you're not there to counter it.
No, I'll tell you what. See, the Bharatiya Janata Party is in center. The Bharatiya Janata Party is in Manipur as well. There were killings, there were displacements, there were rapes, there were harassment and whatnot. But despite that, this government did not want to debate it, did not want to ensure justice to the people of Manipur, and we had to compel them for something of this sort. I mean, this is so important. It's paramount instead. And the Bharatiya Janata Party, when it runs away from such issues, you can very well imagine what the intent of this government is, what they'll do to our country, and that's why an alliance of more than 28 plus political parties has gathered up. What we have done them to in Karnataka, in Himachal, the same shall repeat in 2024. They should better buckle up.
Okay, Neeti, quick response, then I'll go to Krishank.
I think this is very evident of the entire Congress party and the opposition, which goes on in the parliament as well. They ask a question, they are answered, and then they again come back to the same
Why did
question,
the Punjab
and
governor
again
ask
they
for
want
the
to just
agenda?
talk about the same things that have already been
Why did
answered
the
because you
Punjab
have no
governor ask for the
agenda.
You made that point.
You
Let her
don't
respond
know-
now. Ashpreet,
you
come on,
don't
I gave
know
you your time.
I just have one
or what
question.
you
No,
want
I
to
gave you
talk
the
about,
governor
asked.
which
Let her
is why
respond.
you
Why
will
didn't
create
Punjab's
an
governor
issue
ask for
about
the
just
agenda?
anything
Let her
and
respond.
everything, Arshpreet. So, don't heckle me. The problem is the same questions you have raised.
You were
I've
just-
told you nobody is running away from anything. But the point here is you're making a self-goal. When you talk about democracy, when you talk about discussions on the bill, you need to be in the parliament to discuss those bills. You cannot blame the government. The point is if you keep on disrupting the parliament, you keep on raising slogans, ऐसा तो है नहीं कि देश के अंदर काम नहीं होगा. The work is going to go on. If you don't choose to be a part of it, I think you are answerable to your constituents, not us. It is your responsibility as much as it is ours to sit in the parliament and debate and discuss those bills. So please don't blame the BJP for doing their work. It
Okay.
is you, all the statistics that you
Punjab
have raised.
governor
and
Krishank,
to write a-
Krishank,
and the opposition
when we talk
that-
about the business in
One
the
question.
house, when we talk of the business in the house, what do you expect of this special session? And would you push for the women's reservation bill to be passed at least before the 22nd of September?
Absolutely, absolutely. We've taken up protests, and not just now, time and again. I mean, our leader Kavita ji, when she was there in the parliament earlier in the previous session also, she did take it up in the parliament. She rose up, she spoke about it. But one thing, we want the government of India to be pinpoint and to talk about the issues, like how Modi ji in the previous speech of his never uttered even the word of Manipur, not just Manipur. I'll just tell the BJP that everything is on record. If we have walked out from the parliament, there is a reason, and it is everything is on record and transparent. There are 2 points, Griyaji. Previously, BRS walked out from Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, and both of the issues were because the Honorable Speaker didn't take up the adjournment notices of our party MPs regarding the Adani issue and regarding the Delhi services issue. We have seen how both of these issues, the Adani issue, the Joint Parliamentary Committee request was by all the MPs. They never took it up, that issue. Never Modi ji spoke about that issue. So is Modi ji really ready? Because there are many policies which this government of India has benefited one particular corporate tycoon, Mr. Adani. And we want that to be debated. We want a JPC. Have they done it? But our adjournment notices were not taken up. And we have every right to put our mark of protest. We've done that. So let Modi ji speak about those. When Modi ji can boast about reforms like demonetization, Agniveer, lockdown, farm laws as his own decisions, then please stand up, rise, speak about Adani, rise and speak about Manipur, rise and speak about the Delhi services.
Krishank, you're talking about all these different points, but I want to understand, where is the opposition united in pushing for that one bill? And I also, in that same regard, want to ask that question of the opposition, and Arshpreet, you're also free to answer that. Is the Congress, the BRS, other members of the opposition, are they kind of unsettled because they feel that women's reservation bill might just in all probability be passed in the parliament, and it is going to be initiated by the Bharatiya Janata Party as opposed to members of the opposition, spearheaded by the Congress or the BRS for that matter? Is that a worry that you have?
We want that, and we have been asking the Bharatiya Janata Party government to make it the agenda, but the Bharatiya Janata Party's government has not been answering to it. Now, my question to the BJP is one and one only. Please have an answer to it. Does the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson agree with the Punjab governor's question when he questioned the Punjab government as to what the agenda is before having the special session on June 19th and 20th? Does she agree with it, or was he wrong?
Mr. Javed Ansari, now that you've heard all the members of both the opposition and the Bharatiya Janata Party, where do you see this going? If we open this up to conjecture after tomorrow, is this going to be the same back and forth? Because Krishank there, the BRS is talking about the various other issues, including the demand for a JPC. And we are also seeing this entire conversation around the women's reservation bill. Manipur, of course, will be coming in as part of the discourse. Where do you see the conversation really going in this special session of the parliament? You're getting the final word, Mr. Ansari.
I'm afraid it will be business as usual.
Okay.
It will deeply sadden me, but it will be business as usual. Like I said, I expressed the hope that I wish I'm around to see the day when the level of debate is elevated, and also that democracy and democratic institutions are strengthened. This session should go far beyond, or at least go beyond just an event management, walking from one building, from the old building to the new. And as regards the women's reservation, this is a Congress, the previous Congress UPA government introduced this bill in 2009, which is pending in the Rajya Sabha.
Yes.
So it will not be a government initiative. It will be the old Congress bill, which will be voted upon one way or the other.
All right.
Just a point of clarification.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Ansari, Arshpreet Kadyal, Neeti and Krishank. Thank you so much for joining us on this debate. With that, we're slipping into a very short break here on Viewpoint. But up next, AIADMK leader D. Jayakumar has questioned the alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party in the state of Tamil Nadu. He's ended up accusing Tamil Nadu BJP chief Annamalai of targeting the party leaders. Our question is whether this alliance is in trouble as the political war with the DMK also rages. That debate after a very short break.
Without any evidence and without any proof. So we believe that it's an illegal arrest. We are moving the courts. Legal process is going on. But it's high time that the central government should take note of what is happening in Andhra Pradesh. We need to bring it to the attention of the public and to the government that this is happening in Andhra Pradesh, that this type of tragedy is taking place. And if there's no law and order in a state, it is a duty of the central government to step in and do something about it. Today, there's no law and order in Andhra Pradesh.
So will you raise this issue inside the house?
Definitely, we'll try to get every opportunity possible to raise the issue inside the house and outside the house and bring it to the notice of not only the government but the people at large should know that this is a completely false case. His image is being tarnished for political reasons, and they're trying to paint him with the same brush as the current ruling dispensation.
Important issue that we have raised is the illegal arrest on false accusations on the opposition leader in the state of Andhra Pradesh, who is Chandrababu Naidu. Chandrababu Naidu has been a senior leader in this country. He has rubbed shoulders with one of the important people of this country. For 45 years he has been in the political system, and in these last 45 years never had he had any allegation against him. But just because Jagannath Reddy wanted to throw mud on him deliberately because of political vindictiveness based on false allegations without any evidence, he has put a corruption scam on his name, and we are going to fight it out legally also. But we have demanded the central government to take cognizance of this issue, to take into account that the YSRCP government in the state of Andhra Pradesh is deliberately demolishing democratic institutions and trying to abuse the power that he has today and trying to cut down the voice of the opposition. So this is something important not just for the state of the Andhra Pradesh but also as a country also. So that's why we have taken it up as an agenda item in the all-party meeting also, and we are going to take it up in the parliament also tomorrow.
We want justice! 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 Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh!
आंध्र प्रदेश में जैसे आपने देखा है, हमारे नेता चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी को इलीगली अरेस्ट किया हुआ है। फॉल्स एविडेंस दिखाकर, कोई भी सबूत नहीं है फिर भी उनको अरेस्ट किया गया है। जगनमोहन रेड्डी जो अभी आंध्र का मुख्यमंत्री है, एक साइको की तरह व्यवहार कर रहा है आंध्र प्रदेश में। कोई भी ऑपोजिशन वाला आवाज उठाना चाहता है उनको जेल में डालने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। उसी के हिसाब से आज चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी को जेल में डाला है। तो इसलिए पार्लियामेंट सदन के बाहर हम लोग अपनी आंदोलन कर रहे हैं कि आंध्र प्रदेश में डेमोक्रेसी को सेव करना चाहिए। इसी के लिए हम लोग यहाँ पे आंदोलन के लिए खड़े हुए हैं। जरूर सदन के अंदर भी ये चीज उठाएंगे, क्योंकि निर्दोष है चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी। आज एक निर्दोष को इस तरह से जेल में डालना, अगर आज आंध्र में हुआ है, कल कहीं पे भी हो सकता है, कोई भी पार्टी में हो सकता है। अगर सच्चे लोगों को हम सेव नहीं कर पाएंगे तो ये भारत का भविष्य अच्छा नहीं रहेगा।
The leader of the opposition in Andhra Pradesh, Telugu Party national president, has been illegally arrested and kept in the Rajahmundry prison without any evidence and without any proof. So we believe that it's an illegal arrest. We are moving the courts. Legal process is going on. But it's high time that the central government should take note of what is happening in Andhra Pradesh. We need to bring it to the attention of the public and to the government that this is happening in Andhra Pradesh, that this type of tragedy is taking place. And if there's no law and order in a state, it is a duty of the central government to step in and do something about it. Today, there's no law and order in Andhra Pradesh.
So will you raise this issue inside the house?
Definitely, we'll try to get every opportunity possible to raise the issue inside the house and outside the house and bring it to the notice of not only the government but the people at large should know that this is a completely false case. His image is being tarnished for political reasons, and they're trying to paint him with the same brush as the current ruling dispensation.
Welcome back. You're watching Viewpoint with me, Griha. We are now getting some breaking news on the broadcast. Remember, we have been telling you that the cabinet meeting with the Prime Minister in the Parliament Annex A is going to be underway in a short while from now. Now we are given to understand that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is pretty much there in the Parliament for that cabinet meeting. So any moment now, we are going to be seeing the cabinet meet to get underway. My colleague Payal Mehta is joining us with more that she is picking up from the cabinet meeting that is all set to take place in just a short while from now. Payal, what is the possible agenda that is going to be discussed? What are you learning from your sources?
You know, I wish I could just tell you what really was came in, and I wish I was a fly on the wall, but unfortunately in the Narendra Modi government, we only left to guesswork and nobody knows what's really happening. But you know, the fact that the government has called in for a meeting out of the blue, given the fact that today is a Monday, normally the cabinet meetings take place on Tuesday or Wednesday, that is actually fueling a lot of speculation. But like I said, we'll have to wait for some more time. There is a lot of buzz around a lot of bills that could possibly come in. There is a lot of buzz on what the government would really bring in. Given the fact that they brought in a special session of Parliament, the Prime Minister himself said that this is a small but a very impactful session. We'll have to just wait and see, but the Prime Minister is already in the Parliament, so cabinet meeting has gotten underway. Senior ministers in the government, Rajnath Singh, Nitin Gadkari, Piyush Goyal, Pralhad Joshi are already in the cabinet meeting. It will be important to see if we come to know of anything further, but we'll have to still wait and watch. It is pretty unlikely that they will have a briefing because, you know, normally when the Parliament session is underway, they do not have a cabinet briefing. So, you know, let's just wait and see what really comes out. We'll have to just wait and see because, you know, there's been a lot of kite flying, Griha, that has been happening over the last few weeks ever since the government announced that there will be a special session of Parliament.
Okay, all right, Payal. Thank you so much for that. We will, of course, be waiting to understand what really comes out of that meeting, but possibly we are all going to know about it only after the shifting of the new Parliament building that happens tomorrow. With that, let's shift our focus to the debate number 2 that we are going to be having on Viewpoint, as strains between the AIADMK and the Bharatiya Janata Party in Tamil Nadu seem to have reached a flashpoint today. This has happened when a senior leader of the Dravidian party said that there was no alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party and that any decision on a poll pact will only be decided during the election. Now, what has happened is that AIADMK's D. Jayakumar has said that Bharatiya Janata Party is no longer in an alliance with his party. This, remember, has come in days after the Tamil Nadu BJP chief K. Annamalai's remark on Dravidian stalwart CN Annadurai that had upset the party, the AIADMK. Now, Jayakumar has said that despite warnings, Annamalai continued to disrespect the AIADMK leaders. In fact, the AIADMK leader also added that the party will issue a strong rebuttal to Annamalai for every word that he's spoken against their leaders. He's even claimed that despite requests to the NDA leaders in Delhi to instruct Annamalai not to speak ill about the alliance partners, he has not changed. And in that case, how really is the AIADMK or the AIADMK cadres really going to be working jointly with the Bharatiya Janata Party for the 2024 Lok Sabha polls? That is, if Annamalai continues with his ways. That's the accusation that's coming in from the AIADMK.
கூட்டணி பொறுத்தவரை பிஜேபி அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தோடு கூட்டணி இல்ல தேர்தல் வரும்போது தான் அதை டிசைட் பண்ண முடியும். கூட்டணி பொறுத்தவரை இல்லை. இதான் எங்களுடைய நிலைப்பாடு, இதான் எங்களுடைய ஸ்டாண்டு, இதுதான் ஓங்கி நாங்கள் சொல்றது. இதுவுமே அண்ணாமலை எங்கள் தலைவர்களை விமர்சனம் பண்ணா கடுமையான அளவுக்கு விமர்சனங்களை அண்ணாமலை சந்திக்க நேரிடும்.
And we have breaking news on this story that we are tracking. BJP has now reacted to D. Jayakumar's remark. And it has been said by members of the Bharatiya Janata Party that an alliance has to be a two-way street. Let's listen in.
There are no elections around the corner. Maybe in another 8-9 months there is going to be an election. So we will decide the alliance with whom and all those things in the coming elections. Now there is no alliance. Yes, he is right. Alliance is always a two-way lane. So if somebody says, I am not interested in alliance or I am not there, obviously the alliance is not there.
Let me take this across to my guests who are joining us on the broadcast. Kobai Satyan of the AIADMK is with us. Also with us is Sriram Sheshadri, who is a political analyst. Mr. Satyan, beginning with you, we just heard what was said by a member of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Mr. Narayan Tirupati. Now, he is also agreeing to the statement that has been made by your leader that there is no alliance at the moment.
Yeah, do they have a choice? I don't think so they have. As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, AIADMK calls the shots. It heads the alliance in Tamil Nadu. And time and again, Mr. Annamalai is breaching the Lakshman Rekha of alliance dharma. Even repeated reminders, repeated warnings. He doesn't seem to bother about the alliance. And he seems to place himself ahead of everything else, including his own party. If he wants to show heroics and if he wants to show attitude, it is good for him, but not for the alliance. And making remarks against our founders, upon whose ideology and legacy we are taking forward, it is definitely not palatable and acceptable.
Okay, Mr. Sheshadri, why do you think it is happening? Why do you think these pot shots are being taken by BJP chief Mr. Annamalai in Tamil Nadu, despite repeated warnings? Why is this sparring really being given any kind of room to breathe? Is the BJP really not wanting anything to do with the AIADMK? What happens to their window to the south?
Possibly, yes. In Tamil Nadu, BJP had always been a junior partner, and then probably ADMK wants BJP to remain that way. At this point in time, yes, they are the junior partner because proven track record of vote share is comparably very, very low compared to ADMK. But Annamalai feels, by his groundwork, that there is a resurgence of the party in Tamil Nadu. Say, if compared to 2014, maybe a repeat of 2014 he can demonstrate, and then that is what he is. Even though they won 2 seats as an NDA in Tamil Nadu, but their vote share had been significantly higher, upper range of above 20%. Second thing is, there is no stalwart leader like Jayalalitha, and there has been internal trouble that brewed and then now settled in ADMK. So Annamalai, his job is to grow his party in Tamil Nadu, and the recent comment is just a guise, disguise for ADMK to walk off the alliance, because what Annamalai quoted was a historic fact. He didn't demean CN Annadu, right? Okay. He just said, mentioned what was a historic fact about what happened in the 1950s. I think that's all about it. But I think ADMK probably bit the bullet and then said they are walking out of the alliance, which is probably that's what BJP also wanted.
No, but that's what my question to you, Mr. Sheshadri. Why do you think this historic fact really was mentioned? Was it not to nudge?
No, it was with respect to the Sanatan Dharma. See, he was in the land of Tevars. He was in the land of the community Tevars, Mukkulathur, when he was doing his yatra. That point in time, he just, brought out the valor and grandeur of Sri Muthuramalinga Thevar, who actually stood up against anybody who was, who were criticizing the Hinduism, Hindu gods and Sanatan Dharma. And then he was just mentioning that historic fact that we need people like Muthuramalinga Thevar in the current scenario to fight DMK and, the slayers of Sanatana Dharma. And that is the remark that he made. He just recalled and then talked about Sri Thevar in that particular meeting. I think that is the context in which he mentioned. So it is not to take a dig at ADMK. What actually very amusing is the founder. CN Annadure was a founder of DMK. They have not reacted to the same way that ADMK has reacted, who just carries a name. Of course, it is their sentiment, it is their right to react. But my point is that the contextually where Annamalai is talked about it is what it was not to demean Annadu, right? It was just to state the historic fact. I think that's all about it. Maybe they just wanted a reason to break away. They just wanted a reason to flare this alliance issue.
Okay.
Something might have happened in Delhi.
Kobai Satyan, would you like to respond to that? I mean, the shot was fired at the DMK, but the AIADMK bit the bullet and responded when it was meant for the DMK. What are your responses to these views that are being shared as far as the sentiment is concerned? Do you not want an alliance for sure with the BJP?
See, it was earlier in one instance where he took a shot at our leader Amma, who is revered as a goddess till date. And at that point of time, we passed the resolution condemning his statement. And yes, he was called to Delhi and he was given the right direction, but he doesn't seem to fall in line. He thinks himself above of everything,
No,
including
but
the
when you
party.
use words
He has
like
given
falling in
title.
line,
Yes.
like
There is no
how
need
are we
for-
supposed to actually take this? Because there is no friendship that is happening here. There is an
Yes,
alliance.
because-
Obviously, it is a joining together of parties for like-minded political reasons. There is a DMK that you are supposed to be fighting in the state of Tamil Nadu. Are you confident you can do that alone?
We have scripted history by going all alone, man. 2014, we fought the elections all alone. We swept the entire 39 MPs of the state. AIADMK has demonstrated earlier. It is BJP who needs AIADMK in the state for their identity. And we don't have time to respond to those people who come out and talk like astrologers that BJP has 20% vote share and they have gone mightier than ever and all. We don't have time for this. Our common enemy is DMK. We have to fight DMK. And it was unwarranted, uncalled for Annamalai to mention about our founder leader Anna Durai. DMK didn't care about Anna Durai because they have forgotten the ideologies of Anna Durai as a true Dravidian party. We AIADMK carry his name in our party name and we are the true Dravidians.
Okay.
And carry forwarding his ideology even till date and his legacy. And there is no need for Annamalai and distorted histories, narrations that could suit his narrative, like how Sriram Sheshadri is saying it was a fact. It was said at that point of time, and how Muthuramalinga Tevaraya reacted was well out in open in history. And people who read history halfway and don't read it completely come out in open and say this is the way it is, and they want to set their own narrative.
But I still want to ask you this, Mr. Satyan. Why do you think Mr. Annamalai is being that repeat offender? Why do you think it is happening?
You should ask him. Somebody who thinks big about himself and says that party is behind me. I am bigger than party. And probably, yes, you have to show, you have to stay humble. Our leader, Edappadiar, has put in 50 years of his life in public life. And he grown from the scratch to become the general secretary of the party. And our leaders have demonstrated that. They have won the hearts of the people through their public service and hard work. Not by showing heroics and attitudes and tantrums, like how Mr. Annamalai is doing right now. He says that BJP is like this. He is not even in a position to take a call on behalf of BJP. He is a state office bearer. That's it. And the
I'll
call
ask the same
is
question to Mr. Sheshadri.
And the call is called by AIADMK in Tamil Nadu.
Okay. I'll ask the same question to Mr. Sheshadri. Mr. Sheshadri, where is this brazening it out really coming for the Bharatiya Janata Party? Because they have to look at an important state like Tamil Nadu. If not, it is with alliance with the AIADMK. How are they planning to go about it?
Okay, let me tell you 2 points here. Number one, as much as BJP needs AIADMK in the Congo belt, AIADMK needs badly BJP support.
We don't need.
Satyan, let me talk about
this
it.
statement without merit. Sorry to interrupt.
Let him first respond. You can rebut.
You are making a statement without any facts. I am sorry to interfere you, but get your data right, get your facts right.
Okay. Make your point,
Mr.
Sheshadri.
Satyan, it is my point of view, and then I take ownership of my point of view. You have no right to say that I cannot have a point of view. Sorry about it. Sorry about it. Okay.
It is wrong.
No,
You can give us a pointed argument. Why is it wrong later? Let him first complete his point. Yes, Mr. Sheshadri.
Okay. So it is definitely, AIADMK is in a weaker situation. I'm not saying 3 different national pollsters have done a survey and then they said that AIADMK falls between 17 to 20% vote share. I'm not saying that. I'm basing my argument on the basis of, forget about my data. My data may be falsified and biased, but I'm saying 3 different national surveys had happened.
Okay.
You are aware of it, and there is one regional survey that has happened which says that. So you can't just wait for an election to declare everything is true or false, right? Of course, that will be the ultimate mandate. But whatever the data points that the pollsters and other survey shows, and that is what that is what reality as of now.
Okay.
It may change,
and like Mr. Satyan has already said that he doesn't want to believe in any polls. He's very, very steadfast with his argument that the AIADMK is well settled as far as the state of Tamil Nadu is concerned. We'd have to actually wait and watch where this political war really goes. And it is a 3-party one where we're talking about the DMK, AIADMK and the BJP now. We'll have to wait and watch for the first elections to actually set in the state to see where is it going. With that, it's a wrap from my side on Viewpoint. My colleague Shivani Gupta is joining you on the other side with Plain Speak.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. The much-awaited special parliament session has commenced today. Parliamentarians bid a farewell of sorts to the old parliament building and shared some nostalgic memories. From tomorrow onwards, on the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi, the proceedings will shift to the new parliament